people and that he wants to have a say in this.
It's rumored the former Ayatollah's son will be taking over, but that's not confirmed as of right now. As tensions continue to rise, law enforcement's ramping up across the country. ABC News contributor and former DHS official John Cohen elaborates on concerns some experts have with the continued conflict inside the U.S.
The longer the conflict lasts, the higher the likelihood that Iran will seek to use hybrid attack techniques that it's developed over the years. These would include targeted acts of violence directed at government and non-government targets here in the United States, faith-based institutions and other potential targets. That's why you're seeing state and local law enforcement agencies deploying uniformed law enforcement officers in and around houses of worship, synagogues, churches.
The FBI has already warned of potential lone wolf attacks related to the conflict. President Trump says he's moving to replace DHS Secretary Kristi Noem with Oklahoma Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy has the latest.
Sources say the president was upset over this exchange at a Senate hearing Tuesday, which had Kristi Noem telling Louisiana Republican John Kennedy that the president knew she'd be appearing in a $220 million DHS ad campaign.
To me, it puts the president in a terribly awkward spot.
Kennedy later told reporters the president told him he remembered things differently. And senior administration officials tell ABC News the president did not sign off on the ad campaign. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
First Look Traffic, here's Michelle Rowe.
We have a fresh crash in West Haven. This is 1900 West and 1800 South. The rest of the valley is moving smoothly across Wasatch Front. Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL News Time, 12:04.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-979-3535. That's 800-979-3535. 800-979-3535.
My friend Joey loves to use old familiar sayings.
You know what they say.
The problem is,
don't look at a gift horse because you can't make them drink.
He gets a lot of them mixed up.
People who live in glass houses,
here it comes,
shouldn't cry over spilt milk.
We have some breaking news. We're hearing from Kristi Noem after being ousted as Homeland Security. Let's go live to this news conference.
Such as water and systems that we rely on every day to help the American people be safe and to still have their way of life. We also have CISA, which some of you may have worked with them, which is our cybersecurity agency, which goes out and not only hunts down bad actors that would attack us on our cyber systems, but also gives us mitigation measures for how we can harden our systems. All of these entities work together to serve the American people and to make sure that we're prepared for any threats that we may face, but also respond to them in a way that honors what our ideals are. The sacred duty of our government truly is that people are entrusted to secure the rights also of all the American people. You know, the Declaration of Independent states that governments derive their powers from the consent of the governed, which is the people. The people give us the right to do our jobs each and every day. And as long as this world is fractured and as long as human nature is fallen, we will need brave men and women who step up and serve and enforce our rights and our laws and our values. And that's what all of you do in this room with your colleagues. The heroism was on full display this last week when we saw the attack in Austin, Texas, and we saw that the first responders that helped protected people and more lives there were our law enforcement that responded immediately. Instead of running away, they ran to it. And though we lost 3 lives and saw many other people injured, they prevented so many other lives from being lost. We're very grateful that they are willing to do that and to serve in such a way. In fact, it reminded me of the quote that is often attributed to George Orwell that states, "People sleep peacefully in their beds at night only because rough men stand ready to do violence on their behalves," which means You step up in order to protect people, and you do it in a way that other people often are never going to be required to. When tragedies like what we saw in Austin take place, it's your leadership and it's your decision making that make all the difference. You use judgment, and people entrust you with their lives. You're on the front lines of leadership, and you have the responsibility of guiding and also shaping the next generation. So we thank you for that, and we thank you for what you do. I know that I've met many of you in the room. I've had the chance to visit with you. I appreciate your wisdom and your advice as we continue to develop trainings and insight into how leadership can work together to make good decisions and to break down the silos between agencies so that we can work together more in better ways than we have in the past. And you know, we're seeing challenges across the country from judges and courts that are working to stop some of our efforts, that are looking to take away some of the protections that you need in law to do your work. And then also we're seeing some challenges from sanctuary states and sanctuary cities. In fact, after I get done sharing a few more words, I want to hear your questions on ways that we can help you do your jobs. If you're in a situation where the laws may be a little different than it is in other states, or you may have unique challenges that perhaps we could work together on to find ways to help you bring criminals to justice and to protect your community from public safety threats. America is the greatest country in the world, and it's the greatest country in the world that has great cities and great communities. Regardless of where people live, we need to make sure that they have an opportunity to go to work every day safely and to send their kids to school safely every day. Sanctuary cities do give us a challenge because it makes it difficult at times for law enforcement to do their work. And we see that many times when a city cooperates with the federal government, cooperates with our federal officers, that it is safer. In fact, 7 of our top 10 safest countries in the nation are not sanctuary cities. They're cities where the local law enforcement partners with us. They partner with our federal agencies, with the FBI, DEA, ATF, CBP, ICE, and our operations. And we've also seen across the country where 5 of our 10 most crime-ridden cities do not cooperate with us, where those that are not cooperative with federal officers will see challenges on their streets. We've seen a lot of different situations from city to city. The one thing I would encourage you that no matter how frustrated you may be with some of that we can find a way to work together to do some good work for our people. In fact, even in Memphis, where we saw different leadership, we had different parties in the governorship and in the mayor, we still were able to arrest and bring to justice over 2,600 criminals, and in a way that significantly dropped their crime rate and significantly helped those communities continue to take those public safety threats off the streets. We got over 150 different illegal sex offenders off of the street. We saw one of those arrests included a criminal illegal alien from Venezuela that was convicted of aggravated criminal assault and abuse of a child. I'm thankful that that individual is no longer on the streets because of the cooperation of those local law enforcement. We have agreements across the country called 287G agreements. I'm sure you're familiar with them, but there is 3 different models that are available. One is a jail model that helps us with some detention. The other is a warrant service officer model that is extremely helpful for us to make sure that we can take jurisdiction or of an individual who's a criminal in the safety of an environment of a courthouse or a jail, and they can be turned over to ICE so that we have the ability to return them back home. And the other model would be in the task force model, which I hope many of you have the opportunity to cooperate with us in, where we can use our different authorities to go out and go after the worst of the worst, those targeted operations that go after violent offenders and criminal offenders, and that we can bring them to justice and get them out of your city and your state. We've seen that program go from before President Trump was in office to only 135 of those agreements across the country signed, to now we have over 1,400 of them in place, and it's been very beneficial.
You've been listening to Kristi Noem, who's giving some of her final thoughts about their policies at DHS. As she's been now ousted as the DHS secretary, she is being replaced by Oklahoma Republican Senator Mark Wayne Mullen. That was Kristi Noem you've been listening to.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our clients' portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Are your investments in the right accounts? What's best, traditional or Roth? Are you receiving all available tax deductions? Are you paying as little in tax as you can? These are all questions you can't afford to get wrong. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth, and in many cases, it's not what you make, but it's what you keep that makes the real difference. Trajan Wealth and Trajan Tax work closely together exclusively. No more guessing about whether you should do a Roth conversion, or if maxing out your 401k is really the best option. Our nationally recognized fiduciary advisors and CPA team work in tandem to make sure your tax strategy works with your investment strategy. We'll even do your tax preparation. One team, one strategy. Isn't it time for a second opinion? Call Trajan today, 801-207-9900. That's 801-207-9900.
Trajan Wealth, an SEC registered investment advisor. Additional services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures and accreditation at TrajanWealth.com.
Cars for Kids, KARS, Cars for Kids, 1-877 Cars for Kids, donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids, KARS, Cars for Kids, 1-877 Cars for Kids, donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids, KARS, Cars for Kids, 1-877 Cars for Kids, donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
KSL News Time, 12:15. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
we're learning more details about the three women found dead in Wayne County, as well as the 22-year-old man accused of killing them. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem has been removed from her position. She'll work at the Shield of the Americas now instead. Third, traffic and weather together.
A fresh crash southbound I-15 in Salt Lake, just south of 6 South on the left shoulder. Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
Scattered rain, snow showers today with highs in the 40s. Another chance for snow tomorrow morning. I'm Matt Johnson.
It's 41 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Now KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. 2 days of lawmakers grilling Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem at hearings and facing a growing criticism over the deadly immigration agent shootings of Alex Preddy and Renee Good in Minnesota. President Trump in a social media post announcing Noem is out as Homeland Secretary. Here's ABC's Mary Bruce.
And the president, we know, had grown increasingly frustrated with Secretary Noem this following several days of her testimony up on the Hill. The president posting the current secretary, Kristi Noem, who has served us well and has had numerous and spectacular results, especially on the border, will be moving to be special envoy for the Shield of the Americas, our new security initiative in the Western Hemisphere.
The president announcing that Senator Markwayne Mullin of Oklahoma will take Noem's place as Homeland Secretary. The Iran war, which the president signaled could last weeks, is leading to a wider conflict throughout the region. That's led to tens of thousands of Americans trapped in the Middle East for days, scrambling to get flights out. The State Department announced the first coordinated charter flight took off from Dubai. ABC's Perry Russum is at New York's JFK International, where it landed this afternoon.
There's some questions about whether this plane was at least partially chartered by the State Department. We spoke with 3 different groups of passengers, including one woman who identified herself as a diplomat, who told us that this was a commercial flight, the first one to leave in the past couple of days from Dubai. But there is the chance that the State Department did buy at least a few seats that would make this a partially chartered plane. But at least right now, we do not have any evidence that the State Department has been involved in purchasing any of the seats here.
House Speaker Mike Johnson and the GOP leadership calling for Republican Representative Tony Gonzalez of Texas to withdraw from his re-election race. That after he admitted to having an affair with a former staff member who later died by suicide. It follows the Health Ethics Committee launching an investigation into Gonzalez's conduct. You're listening to ABC News.
Time for the KSL In-Depth. Conventional wisdom tells us that if you're going to go hiking, always take a buddy with you for safety purposes. But still, 2 women were killed while they were hiking together as part of a triple murder in Wayne County. So what do people, especially women, need to do to keep themselves safe on the trails? I asked Julie Kilgore, who's on the board of the Wasatch Mountain Club, what's the ideal number of people to take with you on a hike?
So a good number would be 4 or more. And the reason for that is because if you do have an emergency situation, someone can stay with an injured party or a missing party, and then buddies can go out together. What you don't want to do is keep separating the group and have individuals out in the wilderness. So if you have at least 4 people with you, someone can stay with the party that needs help, and someone can go with the party that is seeking help. So if there was a number that would be good, you want to start there. But you also have to be careful that you don't have too many people with you, because we have wilderness limits that we have to adhere to. So generally that's 10. There's different numbers in different areas. But you want to be sure to respect those wilderness limits as well. So, somewhere in that number of 4 to 10 would be ideal.
Kilgore says it's also incredibly important to let people know where you're going before you leave and bring some form of communication in case of emergency.
We like to make sure we have some kind of tracking device, or we have our Garmin's or whatever that we're using that tracks where we are, and a communication and emergency communication device when we get into areas where we know we're going to be getting into areas where there's not going to be cell coverage. So we have emergency radios that can reach out by satellite. So those are important tools for a woman to have, for anyone to have that's going to be hiking in the backcountry.
She said they often preach to have 10 essentials for hiking in your backpack before you go out. That includes a map or GPS, a first aid kit, and extra food and water, among other things. KSL News Time, 12:20. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s, brought to you by UCCU. Earn 4.24% on savings at uccu.com. Here's Michelle Rowe.
Heather, the crash is southbound I-15 just south of 6 South in the curve. It is blocking a left lane and the left shoulder. Traffic is squeezing to get past it. It's already backed up to the I-80 interchange. Now, for the rest of I-15, showing good speeds, but a couple of heads up for winter conditions. If you're going up Little or Big Cottonwood Canyon, traction control devices are required, and we're seeing winter conditions up Sardine Canyon between Manaway and Wellsville. While you're planning your day, plan for comfort too with the Good Feet store. Find the location nearest you at goodfeet.com. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast. You got 43 for a high today, definitely cooler, rain, snow, showers. 45 tomorrow, AM snow, then breaking up. 49, mostly sunny skies on Saturday. Sunday, warm. 57, mostly sunny, even warmer as we head into Monday with a high of 65.